Frank Zappa, welcome to Sound. 75, I think, was the last time we spoke with you. Nice of you to invite us to your house and to your workshop. Can you explain what you're doing here?
I'm finishing a movie that I started 14 years ago.
That you started 14 years ago?
Right. This movie was begun before we did 200 Motels.
And have you worked on that continuously? Or?
No, I left it alone for a number of years because the material itself was tied up in a lawsuit, and it was locked up in a vault under the control of another person. And when the lawsuit was resolved, I got all the material back and decided that I would finish it off.
When do you think you'll have it completed?
Probably sometime next year, because I don't work on it 24 hours a day. You know, I have other things that I do that I earn a living from, and so this is kind of like a hobby.
It's like a toy.
Well, it's not a toy because eventually it will turn into a product, but...
An expensive toy.
Yeah.
What will you call it?
That's offensive to call working on things like this a toy. What kind of an attitude is that?
What will you call it, Frank?
It's going to be called Uncle Meat.
And could you explain the storyline, if there...
Oh, sure, no problem. There's a guy who is played by Don Preston who turns into a monster. And there's a girl who is played by Phyllis Alton-House, who in one role in the film, she plays my assistant editor, and in another role in the film, she plays a character named Sheba Fleischman, a girl who is in love with a man who turns into a monster. Sheba Fleischman also likes to have men rub her body with hamburger meat in a shower. And the monster also has another character that he plays, a character named Biff Debris. And Sheba Fleischman and Biff Debris finally meet each other in a pool hall. And they pick each other up and they go to the Tropicana Motel, and where they perform this little ceremony. Before Sheba Fleischman gets to have her body rubbed with hamburger meat in the shower, Biff won't go in the shower unless she wears these special clothes. He likes to take showers with women who wear white T-shirts, Levi's, and a little brown belt with yellow rivets in it. And unless they wear these things, he won't get in the shower. So there's this great shower scene where she's wearing these clothes, and he keeps them in a plastic garbage can in a refrigerator. Right, in this one scene, he has to open the icebox door and pull out this garbage can with dry ice spewing out of it, you know, and these are the clothes that you must wear in the shower. So she puts them on, they get in the shower, and then they have this business with the clothes and the meat and then after this is all done, he hypnotizes her with a hamburger bun. He goes like this, and she's hypnotized. and under the influence of this hypnosis, she looks directly into the camera and says, "Because you have got me hot with this hamburger meat, I'm going to show my deepest appreciation, and I'm going to go to the Hollywood Ranch Market, and I'm going to buy some cleanser and some scouring pads, and I'm going to clean your bathroom." But she's, you know, hypnotized, you know. It's like a zombie, and she goes, the cleanser, and she walks out of the bathroom and goes to the Hollywood Ranch Market. By the way, that place doesn't exist anymore. It burnt down about 6 years ago.
Did you have that on film from 6 years back?
Didn't get the burning, but it could have burned down the night we shot there.
Right. Have you ever done any acting?
Not much, but recently, I, just for a laugh, I did a role of a hunchback in a fairy tale that was completed about 3 days ago in a show called Fairy Tale Theater, which is produced by Shelley Duvall, and it airs on Showtime cable network here in the United States. I don't know whether they have distribution outside the U.S.
Don't think we get it now.
Well, I mean, I think that they're probably going to be trying to export the thing, but it's a whole series of fairy tales. The first one that they did was The Frog Prince, and it starred Robin Williams as the frog. It was really great, and things were all done on video. They used a lot of video effects. Mick Jagger did the last one that was on the air. He played a mandarin in The Nightingale. And so I got to be a hunchback.
You were the hunchback?
In a story called The Boy Who Left Home to Find Out About the Shivers.
And did he?
Eventually, yes. He found out about the shivers in one of the more humorous scenes in the thing.
Did you have lines in it?
Yes, I will. Here are my lines. And, ooh.
About the younger groups today, what are your ideas on them? Do you think music today has progressed? Are you enjoying today's music?
Well, I don't listen to the radio, and I don't consume pop music, but most of the contact that I have with what you would describe as new wave or today's new groups and stuff is on MTV, which I don't know whether you have it in Australia.
We know of it.
Okay, we know what it is, and they have all these endless video clips, most of which resemble each other very, very much. And the problem with video music is that when you look at something, what you see tends to take precedence over what you hear. And so consequently, a lot of the effort that's gone into the video clips has gone into the visualization of certain theoretical ideas contained in the songs. Most of the songs are built on very boring theoretical ideas, so the amount of imagery that you're allowed to use, given the restraints of censorship on television and so forth, it comes down to a very small language of images. You know, you have close-up shots of women's mouths.
Yeah.
You have shots of girls closing car doors. You have shots of guitar players making faces going like that when they hit the high note. You know, you get this. It's like baby talk visual language, and they have all these baby talk visual language cliches, which are chopped up into an assortment of boring things, I think. And as far as the music supporting what those boring images are, most of it is eminently forgettable. And that's unfortunate because I like music, and I like movies, and I like the video, and I like all that stuff. But there have been very few things that I've seen that made me feel like I saw something and heard something that was worthwhile. Everything else seems to be in the realm of 4-minute commercials for the album they're trying to sell, and doesn't have very much to do with video music as an art form.
In a capsule, you're not over-impressed.
Well, that would be a fairly accurate statement.
I read or heard somewhere just recently, in the last few days we've been here, that you're going to put out all the albums that you've previously released in a package sort of thing. Can you tell me all about that?
Yeah, also as a result of the resolution of that lawsuit, I got the ownership to all of my old masters back from the very beginning. And some of those things have been out of print for years. And I bought some new digital equipment, and I'm cleaning up the sound of the things that were done like 15, 20 years ago.
Right.
And going to put together a big package of re-release of improved audio quality versions of the whole catalog.
How many, in fact, is that?
35.
It'll come out as a one
Probably
pack,
five boxes with 7 discs in each box.
Are you going to tour again in the future?
So, no.
Is there a reason?
Well, there's probably lots of them, but it all started on the last European tour that we did last summer, which ended up with a concert in Palermo, where we had a riot, and there were a number of people injured at that thing. And after that, when that happened to be the last date on the tour, and I said, this is really stupid. I mean, you go out and you play music, you go through a lot of agony to learn how to do what you do. You go through a lot of trouble to stay in business doing what you do. Ultimately, you go on a stage and perform. Nobody gives you any respect because you're doing something that they think is beneath anyone's dignity, namely playing rock and roll. They think that who would bother to do such a horrible thing as play rock and roll music. And then when you go on stage and do that, and you see that people are being injured because of the stupidity of like in Palermo, for instance, we had the police and the army both at the same time. We were working in a soccer stadium, and the tear gas was going all over the place. And some of the kids in the audience, many of them who had taken the boat over from Calabria and come over to Sicily for this thing, it was a big occasion, right? They brought guns with them, and so they were shooting at the cops, and the cops were shooting back, and it was not too amusing.
When was that?
That was last August, I think.
So that was the last concert you've done?
That's right.
And there will be no more?
Well, I have no intentions of doing any more rock and roll concerts. I might do some things with symphony orchestra if I have the opportunity to do it, but as far as going out there and living that kind of a life, I don't think so.
How many albums have been put out by symphony orchestras that you've actually written the music for?
As far as large symphony orchestras goes, only the LSO album, which just came out.
Right.
I've done some things for smaller orchestras, like 40 pieces. There's been a few of those.
Before music, was there any other career that you had, or did you go into music straight out of school?
Well, I've had a couple of 9-to-5 jobs. I worked in advertising a little bit. I did some advertising copywriting. I did some commercial art. Worked at a greeting card factory. Worked as a busboy. Sold Collier's encyclopedias door to door.
What was the nicest greeting card? Can you remember?
Yeah, it was one that I designed. It was black and white, and on the front it said goodbye, and on the inside there was an imprint of a black hand, which is an old traditional mafia kissing you goodbye. Goodbye.